Salt is one of the oldest and most ubiquitous food seasonings. It is known to uniformly improve the taste perception of food, and food remains incomplete without it. Every big food chains to fast foods to packed snacks contain salts. But question is, are the salt matches the daily recommended doses? Most salts are highly refined and contain dextrose and anti-caking agents. Typical sea salts contain microplastics and nanoplastics. Look for rock salts from dried up ancient oceans to eliminate modern day pollution. How important it is for human body? Let's find out. Salt is what allows the body to hold onto water. This will allow blood volume expansion and significant performance gains. On average, we lose approximately half a teaspoon of salt per hour of exercise. This can increase to a full teaspoon of salt with rigorous training in high temperature. When we don't get enough salt, our vitality, energy and athletic performance suffers. We also lose iodine, copper, zinc, iron, calcium and magnesium in sweat. Don't just hydrate with water, hydrate with salt, electrolytes and water. A recent study says sodium is a necessary mineral. But health organizations typically recommend that healthy adults limit sodium intake to less than 2,300 milligrams, about 1 teaspoon of salt per day, to prevent conditions like high blood pressure. Salt is needed to produce stomach acid. Stomach acid is made up of hydrochloric acid, the chloride coming from salt. Now, how the body regulates salt levels. Researchers have long believed that the way the level of salt inside our bodies is controlled is fairly straightforward. When levels are too high, our brains are stimulated to make us thirsty. We drink more and excrete more urine, through which the body expels excess salt. University of Erlangen-Nuremberg in Germany took the opportunity to study men participating in a simulated space flight program. Between 2009 and 2011, they tightly controlled the daily salt intake of 10 men simulating a flight to Mars, 4 in a 105-day pre-flight phase and 6 others for 205 days. The men were given 12 grams of salt per day, 9 grams per day, or 6 grams per day for 30 to 60 days. The researchers collected all the men's urine for testing. The scientists were surprised to find that, whatever the level of salt consumed, sodium was stored and released from the men's bodies in roughly weekly and monthly patterns. The team uncovered similar rhythms for the hormones aldosterone, which regulates sodium excretion from the kidney, and glucocorticoids, which help regulate metabolism. Lack of salt increases stress hormones and noradrenaline. Low-salt diets also increase heart rate, activate the sympathetic nervous system, worsen sleep. Salt helps with sleep by putting the body into a relaxed state. Lack of salt can increase sugar cravings. When we don't get enough salt, the dopamine reward center in the brain gets activated. This drives us to seek out salt and consume more of it. Unfortunately, low salt can also cause the seeking out and craving of sugar. Not getting enough salt can lead to higher insulin and glucose levels. This is because insulin helps the kidneys retain more salt. An easy way to support healthy glucose, insulin levels is to get an adequate amount of salt. Now, what if we consume more than what's recommended? Excessive salt intake is associated with high blood pressure. As this effect likely drives cardiovascular morbidity and mortality, excessive salt intake is estimated to cause approximately 5 million deaths per annum worldwide. Salt reduction interventions lower blood pressure, but for most individuals, hidden salt in processed foods disconnects salt intake from discretionary control. This problem is compounded by growing inequalities in food systems, which form another hurdle to sustaining individual dietary control of salt intake.